There are moments in life when a single knock on the door can change everything. For me, that moment happened on a rainy Thursday evening. I was 43 years old. I lived alone. I had a quiet job, a small apartment, and a life that was finally beginning to feel peaceful. Then a young woman stood outside my door, looked directly into my eyes, and said, "My name is Lily. I think you're my father." I remember staring at her for several seconds. I couldn't speak, because I had spent my entire life believing I had no children. I was wrong. My name is David, and before that evening, I thought I understood my own history. I had been married once. The marriage ended badly. There were no children. At least that's what I had always been told. After the divorce, I moved to another city and started over. I changed jobs, changed apartments, changed my phone number. Eventually, I stopped thinking about the past, or at least, I convinced myself I had. My former wife, Anna, and I had been married when we were both very young. We were 23. We loved each other deeply, but we were also immature. We argued about money, about careers, about where we should live, about everything. One night, after a terrible argument, Anna told me she wanted a divorce. I begged her to reconsider. She refused. 3 months later, we signed the papers. I never saw her again. I tried contacting her several times afterward. She never responded. Eventually, I gave up. I assumed she wanted me completely out of her life. Years passed. I built a new life, but sometimes I wondered what happened to her. Whether she was happy, whether she ever thought about me. I never imagined that she had kept something from me. Then came the knock. It was around 7:30 in the evening. Rain was hitting the windows. I had just finished dinner when someone knocked. I opened the door. A young woman stood there. She looked nervous. She was probably 20 years old. Dark hair, green eyes, and something about her face felt strangely familiar. She held a small envelope. "Are you David?" "Yes," she swallowed. "My name is Lily." Then she said the words that changed my life. "I think you're my father." I didn't know what to say. My first reaction was disbelief, then confusion, then fear. "Who told you that?" "My mother." "Who was your mother?" She looked down. "Anna." My heart stopped. I stepped away from the door. "Anna?" Lily nodded. "She passed away 6 months ago." I felt the room suddenly become very quiet. I invited Lily inside. She sat at my kitchen table. I made tea. Neither of us drank it. She opened the envelope. Inside was a photograph. It showed Anna, young, smiling, pregnant. I stared at the photograph. My hands began shaking. "When was this taken?" "About 21 years ago." I looked at Lily. Why didn't she tell me? Lily's eyes filled with tears. She wanted to. Then why didn't she? She was afraid. Lily explained everything. After our divorce, Anna discovered she was pregnant. She tried to contact me, but she couldn't find me. The address I had given her was no longer valid. She called my old workplace. I had already left. Eventually, she stopped searching. Not because she didn't want me to know, but because she became convinced that I had moved on. She raised Lily alone, and whenever Lily asked about her father, Anna told her he was a good man. That sentence broke something inside me. She could have hated me. She could have blamed me. Instead, she protected my memory. "Why did you come now?" I asked. Lily looked at the photograph. "Because Mom left me a letter. She handed it to me. It was addressed to both of us." I opened it carefully. "David, if Lily has found you, then I am no longer here to explain everything. I'm sorry. I should have told you about her. You deserved to know you had a daughter, and Lily deserved to know her father. I was scared that you wouldn't want her, but I was wrong to make that decision for you. Please don't punish Lily for my mistake. She has already lost enough. If you can, give her the chance to know you. And David, please forgive me." I couldn't finish reading. I put the letter down. Lily was crying. I looked at her. For 21 years, I had missed birthdays, school plays, first days of school, graduations, Christmas mornings. Every little moment a father should have witnessed, and I hadn't even known they were happening. "I'm sorry," I whispered. Lily shook her head. "It's not your fault. I missed your entire childhood." "I know. I should have been there." She looked at me. "You didn't know I existed." That sentence destroyed me, because she was right. How could I blame myself for something I never knew? And yet, I still felt guilty. The next few weeks were strange. Lily stayed in contact. We talked on the phone. At first, our conversations were awkward. "What music do you like? What do you do for fun? What's your favorite food?" We were strangers trying to learn how to become family. One evening, she asked me, "Do you like pancakes?" I laughed. "That's a strange question." She smiled. "Mom said you made terrible pancakes." I laughed harder. She remembered that? Apparently. For the first time, we laughed together. A month later, I invited Lily to dinner. I wanted to cook something special. I decided to make pancakes. They were terrible. Absolutely terrible. Lily took one bite and started laughing. Mom was right. I laughed too. And for some reason, that terrible dinner became one of the best nights of my life. Slowly, we started building a relationship. I learned that Lily loved photography. She hated mornings. She loved old movies. She was terrible at remembering birthdays. She had her mother's stubbornness, and, according to everyone who knew me, my terrible sense of humor. One afternoon, we went through an old box of my photographs. I found a picture of myself at 23, the same age I had been when I married Anna. Lily studied it, then looked at me. "You really do look like me." I smiled. I was thinking the same thing. But not everything was easy. One evening, Lily became angry. She asked, "Why didn't you look harder for Mom?" I didn't have a good answer. I tried. Not hard enough. She walked away. I sat alone in the living room. Her words hurt, but I understood. She had spent 21 years wondering why her father wasn't there. Now she finally had someone to blame, even if the truth was complicated. The next morning, I went to her apartment. She opened the door. I said, "You were right." She looked surprised. "I should have tried harder." "But you didn't know." "I know." I paused. "But if I had known about you, I would have spent every day trying to find you." Her eyes filled with tears. She hugged me, and that was the moment I stopped feeling like a stranger. A year passed. Lily graduated from college. I was sitting in the front row. When her name was called, I stood up and applauded louder than anyone. She looked at me and smiled. After the ceremony, she ran toward me. "I knew you'd come." I hugged her. "I'll always come." Today, Lily is 22. We still have disagreements. We still embarrass each other. We still argue about terrible movies. We're not a perfect family. But we're a family. And that's enough. She has a photograph of Anna hanging in her apartment. Beside it, there is a photograph of the two of us. Mother and daughter. Father and daughter. Two lives that were separated for 21 years. Finally connected. Sometimes I think about the years we lost. I wish I could go back. I wished I could have been there for her first steps, her first birthday, her first day of school, her first heartbreak, her first graduation. But life doesn't give us the chance to rewrite the past. It only gives us the chance to choose what we do with the time we have left. Lily once asked me, "Do you ever wish Mom had told you?" I said, "Every day." Then she asked, "Do you hate her?" I looked at her. "No." "Why?" "Because if she hadn't made that mistake, I wouldn't be sitting here with you today." She smiled. "That's what I think too." Anna made a decision years ago that changed 3 lives. It caused pain. It created distance. It stole years we can never recover. But somehow, her final letter gave us a second chance. And I've learned something from that. Sometimes, life doesn't give us the beginning we wanted. Sometimes we don't get the childhood memories. We don't get the perfect family. We don't get to fix yesterday. But we can still create something beautiful tomorrow. If you're listening to this, and there's someone in your life you've lost touch with, don't assume it's too late. Call them, write to them, ask the question you've been afraid to ask. And if you've made a mistake, don't let pride keep you silent, because years can disappear faster than we realize. And sometimes, the person you've been missing your entire life may be closer than you think. I spent 43 years believing I was a man without children. Then one rainy evening, a young woman knocked on my door. She gave me the biggest surprise of my life. She gave me a daughter, and more importantly, she gave me a second chance. Her name is Lily, and whenever someone asks me when I became a father, I smile. Because the truth is, I became a father 22 years ago. I just didn't know it. And now, I don't plan on missing another day. Thank you for listening.